welcome to this video in the trigonometry series. This one is all about solving practical problems. Now, as you can see there are different types of practical problems that we might use trigonometry for. Now, there are 6 basic steps as to what you're going to want to do to solve a practical problem. The very first thing is you need to read the question. So read the question and read it carefully. Make sure that you understand everything that you need to do, and that might include underlining things that matter in the question. Next, me personally, I like to draw diagrams so that I know what it is I'm looking at or I'm looking for. Just helps to visualize the problem and make it a little bit easier to sort out what it is that you're actually doing. Then I'm going to use trigonometry. Usually from SOHCAHTOA, depending on the level. For the level of this video, SOHCAHTOA is plenty. Check for reasonability. Alright, so check your answer for reasonability. Make sure that it makes sense. So if you get a short side and it works out to be longer than a long side, you might need to rethink your answer. And then write the answer as specified. So this might mean rounding to decimal places. It may mean putting it in words. It may mean even converting meters to kilometers and vice versa. That's where we're at with the actual steps. Let's have a look at some questions. Here's our first example. Our first example here, we have a vertical tent pole. It's supported by a rope tied to the top of the pole and to a peg in the ground. The rope is 3 meters in length and makes an angle of 29 degrees to the horizontal. What is the height of the tent pole? And we want this answer correct to 2 decimal places. So in here, we've got a couple of diagrams here. We've got a picture of a tent pole and a guide rope. And then we've got the actual diagram that we need. So here's my tent pole. That's the one that we don't actually know the length of, so I'm going to make that X. Here's our 29 degrees, or our angle. And then we've got our 3 meters. Okay, so this is 3 meters. That's the hypotenuse. And that's going to be quite useful in determining how high this is. So this is what we're going to use. Now, in terms of that, we now have the hypotenuse. We need to know which angle is which, or which side is which to determine which ratio we're going to use. So here we have the adjacent. And over here we have the opposite. And that means that we're going to use the SOH part of SOHCAHTOA. We're going to use the SOH part of SOHCAHTOA. So I'm going to write that in sine theta equals opposite over hypotenuse. Next step is I'm going to go through that process. I'm going to substitute, rearrange, and calculate. So here we go. We've got sine of 29, or 29 degrees, is x over 3. So there's our substitution. I'm going to rearrange now, and how I'm going to do that is I'm going to multiply everything by 3 because that's what I'm dividing by. So I'm going to times that side by 3, and then I'm going to times that side by 3. So under here, I'm going to have 3 sine 29 degrees equals x. Okay, so when I calculate that, so I've rearranged, I now need to calculate, and I'm going to get somewhere in the vicinity of 1.454428, and it will continue on. But I want that to 2 decimal places. So I use my approximately equal sign and go 1.45 meters. And that's how that one works. Here we have a sloping roof of a shed, uses sheets of collarbond steel, 4.5 meters long, and it's a shed that is 4 meters wide. There is no overlap of the roof past the sides of the walls, and the angle we need is what we need to find. The angle that the roof makes with the horizontal is what we're asking about. So down here we can see that there is a diagram. Here's our hypotenuse. This one's given. Alright. We have this line here given as well is 4 meters. And then this is the angle that we're looking for. Okay. So this is what we're going to set up. Again, we just need to label things. We've got our hypotenuse. Here's our adjacent. And here's our opposite. So because we're using hypotenuse and adjacent, we're actually going to use the ka part of SOHCAHTOA. So we want the cosine or cos theta equals A over H this time instead of O over H. I substitute in what I know. Now I don't know theta yet. That's what I want to know. And put in the adjacent and the hypotenuse. Again, I'm going to do a little bit of a rearrange. Well, not really a rearrange per se. I'm just going to set this up because I'm going for an angle this time. So what I'm actually wanting is I'm wanting the cos to the minus 1. Cos to the minus 1 on your calculator. And that will equal theta. And you can put those either side of the equal sign. It doesn't matter which side you put it on. I calculate this out. And I get theta equals 27.266044 ... The question is after the nearest degree. So in this case, that's nearest whole number. So approximately equal to 27 degrees. That's how it works. Awesome, guys. So good luck with these questions, and any questions that you have that you need to apply trigonometry to. See you in the next video.